Hello, my name is Jake. I'm 26 years old, and I come from Brazil. Just 6 months ago, I couldn't speak English fluently. In fact, I couldn't even say a full sentence like, "How are you?" without pausing, translating in my head, or doubting every single word. I was completely lost and frustrated, especially because I had big dreams that required English. But today, I'm speaking to you in English, naturally, confidently, and with a smile on my face. And I didn't achieve this by moving to an English-speaking country or paying for expensive courses. I did it through a system that worked for me. So in this video, I'm going to share how I learned English in just 6 months, step by step. If you've ever felt stuck, embarrassed, or hopeless about your English, I want you to know I've been there. But if I could do it, so can you. Let's go back to the beginning. Part 1. The moment that changed my life. For years, I had one big dream: to work for a top international tech company. I studied hard, practiced coding day and night, and built up real skills as a software engineer. Finally, my hard work paid off, and I received an email from a company in the US. It said, "Congratulations, Jake. You've been selected for an interview." I was thrilled. I imagined myself working with the best, earning a great salary, and starting a new life abroad. But during the actual interview, everything fell apart. The moment I joined the Zoom call and saw 3 native English speakers looking at me, I froze. They asked, "Jake, can you tell us a bit about yourself and your experience in software development?" I understood the question, but I couldn't respond. The words were stuck inside my head. I managed to say something like, I do software, I work on projects, very good. It was a disaster.
They smiled politely, thanked me for my time, and ended the interview. And I knew, deep down, I didn't fail because of my skills. I failed because I couldn't speak English. That day, I promised myself, I will learn English. Not slowly, not someday. I will do it now, and I will do it fast. Part 2. The first 15 days, building a foundation. Most people think learning English starts with memorizing hundreds of new words. But in my first 2 weeks, I didn't learn any new vocabulary at all. Instead, I focused on something far more important: using the words I already knew. I sat down and wrote a list of 50 basic sentences I might need every day. Things like, "Hi, how are you?" Or, "Can you repeat that, please?" Or, "I'm learning English." Every morning, I read those 50 sentences aloud, 10 times each. At first, I sounded slow and awkward, but by the 5th day, I noticed something amazing. The sentences were becoming automatic. I also began speaking to myself in English. When I was in the shower, I'd say, "I'm taking a shower. The water is hot. It feels nice." While cooking, I'd say, "I'm making eggs. I like eggs. They're easy to cook." I treated every moment of my day as a chance to practice. And finally, I started repeating real English sentences from movies and podcasts. Not just repeating words, but copying the pronunciation, the emotion, and the rhythm of native speakers. By the end of just 15 days, I had stopped translating in my head. I was speaking short but natural sentences. And more importantly, I started to feel confident. Part 3. Training my brain to speak naturally. Once I had the basics, I needed to go further. I didn't just want to speak. I wanted to speak smoothly without thinking too much. That's when I created something I now call the question and answer method. It's very simple, but incredibly powerful. Every day, I would ask myself a question in English, like, "What did you do today?" Then I would answer it out loud without writing anything down. At first, I said, "I worked." But then I pushed myself to say more. I worked on my project today. I spent 3 hours on it. Then I took a short break and had coffee. Each time, I added more details. This method helped me train my brain to speak in full sentences, faster and with more fluency. I also focused on pronunciation. I used the echo method, where I listened to a native speaker, paused, and repeated exactly what they said. I matched their tone, speed, and feeling. After just a few weeks, even native speakers started telling me, "Wow, your accent is improving." Part 4. Learning vocabulary naturally. I used to try memorizing long lists of words, but I would always forget the words after a few days. So I changed my approach. I chose 5 new words each day and created a short story using them. For example, excited, invitation, party, arrive, surprise. I said, I was excited because I received an invitation to a party. When I arrived, it was a surprise party for me. I repeated that story out loud 10 times. That's how I learned over 1,000 new words in just 3 months without ever opening a textbook. Part 5. Living in English. At this point, I wasn't just learning English, I was living it. I changed my phone language to English. I followed English-speaking YouTubers. I described everything I saw in English. When I walked down the street, I would think, the sun is shining. A man is riding a bike. That woman is wearing a red jacket. My mind stopped thinking in Portuguese and started thinking in English. Every night, I wrote a short journal entry in English. At first, it was simple. Today, I went to work, I was tired, I ate pizza. But soon, I was writing full paragraphs and expressing my thoughts more clearly. And I also set one rule: speak English for 2 hours every day, even if it was just with myself. Part 6. Speaking with real people. Finally, it was time to face my biggest fear, talking to real people. So I prepared. I wrote answers to common questions like, what do you do? And what's your favorite food? Then I joined an online group where people practiced English together. At first, I was nervous, but then I realized something. Everyone in the group was learning just like me. And the more I spoke, the more confident I became. I stopped being afraid of making mistakes, and I learned that fluency is not about being perfect. It's about being brave enough to speak. Part 7. The final breakthrough. One day, I looked in the mirror and started speaking. I didn't stop, I didn't translate, I didn't hesitate. That's when I realized I was fluent. So I applied for that dream job again. And this time, I walked into the interview with confidence. I spoke clearly, answered every question with ease, and showed them who I really was. A few days later, I got the call. Jake, congratulations. You got the job. Tears filled my eyes. I called my parents. Mom, Dad, I did it. I wasn't just proud. I was transformed. Final thoughts. If I can do it, you can too. Let me leave you with this. Learning English is not just about words and grammar. It's about mindset, consistency, and courage. I didn't have special talent. I just had a clear goal, a smart plan, and the will to keep going. If you want to become fluent in English, don't wait. Start speaking today. Think in English. Listen, shadow, practice, make mistakes, and never give up. Because 6 months from now, you could be telling your own story of success, just like I am today.